What's going on, YouTube? Chris Six here. I'm coming at you with a little mini web series, I guess, mini video series of my obsession with Kiss, growing up, discovering them, a little brief history or Kisstory, as I would say, on the band themselves. And I will show you how much of a Kiss fan I have been and actually am. I've got it tattooed on me. I am permanently stuck with that. So, I'm a huge fan. Um, I'm a little bit more of a fan of the Doors more so than I am of Kiss now that I've gotten older. Kiss was a lot more my teen years, but I'm still a big Kiss fan. I would go see them hands down. I'd pay money to go see these guys still today. But I first discovered Kiss probably about the age of 5. I would say about then. I remember going over to my uncle's house a lot when I was a little kid, and in his house he had either a bar room or like a bedroom or something set up with his Kiss merchandise, and he had no joke, ceiling to floor Kiss merchandising on every wall, all the way around the room. He had everything from the masks to the cars to the dolls, shirts, posters, lunch boxes, the neon lights. I mean, he had a little bit of everything, and he kind of got me into it as a kid. Like, I remember seeing these guys on the poster that he had. It was a big, huge poster, and it had a picture of these guys on it from, I think, around, maybe Destroyer era. But I seen these guys, and I'm like, look at these guys in this clown makeup. As a kid, I didn't understand, but I'm like, this is awesome. I mean, these guys look like a fucking freak show. Well, the thing was is at that time I had yet heard their music, but I knew who Kiss was. I mean, I seen them, I knew that they were a band. But I remember discovering my dad's 8-track. Yes, I said 8-track. I am old enough to remember 8-tracks. Granted, I was born in 89. I guess I was just raised right. But I remember grabbing my dad's 8-track of Kiss's Rock and Roll Over album, and I remember sitting in the tub as a kid, and we had a stereo that sat in the bathroom, and I popped that 8-track in there and just soaked in the tub listening to Rock and Roll Over. I remember at one point the tape ending, completely done, and I went back over there and started it back over. Because these guys, I just fell in love with them from Rock and Roll Over, and I'm like, this is going to be my new favorite band. Like right then and there, I knew at about 5, this is my favorite band, and I I remember just admiring these guys, studying about them, trying to get as much music as I possibly could. I think one of the first albums I ever bought of theirs probably was Destroyer. I know the second one I bought was the Alive album, the very first Alive album. My opinion, probably one of the best Alive albums that they put out. And I mean, throughout the years, I've collected merchandise of theirs. I had about the same setup going as my uncle did years later. I've seen these guys twice. Like I said, you've seen the tattoo. I've got them tattooed on my arm. I'm a pretty big dedicated Kiss fan myself, still. But enough about me. That's my obsession. But we'll discuss a quick little bit of Kisstory. Today's little episode, we're going to get into how Kiss formed and a quick little rundown of a couple of the members, paying homage to them because they are no longer with us. And they're not originals, but they are replacements. But in my opinion, they're still members. They still put forth some effort of something, especially one more so than the other. But we're going to talk about Kiss first started in 1973 in New York City. They were formed by Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley. They had just left the band Wicked Lester, and things just quite didn't pan out how they wanted it. They wanted to venture into something nobody else has seen before, hence what Kiss became. But they end up finding Peter Criss. He had posted up something. They had posted up something. My bad. Paul and Gene had posted up something in a magazine stating that they were looking for a drummer with flash and balls. and they ended up getting a call from Peter Criss, and Peter Criss was at a party at the time that he gave them this call. And one of the things that they asked him is, "Would you do anything, for this band?" And he said, "Yeah, I'll do anything, whatever you guys ask me." And they asked him, "Would you wear a dress on stage?" And Peter's like, "Well, sure, that whatever floats your guys' boat, I'll do it as long as I'm in this band." So they end up getting together with him. He got the okay. And so now it was time to find a lead guitar player because you had Paul Stanley as rhythm and you had Gene Simmons on bass. And between the two guys of Gene and Paul, them guys could write lyrics. Peter had a little bit of a problem writing lyrics at first. He had a little bit of a problem performing on stage also, somewhat. And he had stage fright when it came to singing. But they ended up putting out flyers and articles about they needing a guitarist and guitar tryouts. They end up having a guitarist try out. His name was Bob Kulick, and Bob Kulick. The funny thing about him is when he tried out, his he ended up getting denied. They end up getting who I'm about to talk about here in a little bit, Ace Frehley, will be the original guitar player of Kiss. But Bob Kulick's brother is Bruce Kulick, and Bruce Kulick ended up in Kiss at one point too. Bob Kulick actually did not end up in Kiss though. But in during Bob Kulick's rehearsal or audition, I would say, with Kiss, he in walked this guy with one orange sneaker, one red sneaker, and he started to hook in his guitar into his amp and getting set up and everything and making a lot of noise. And these guys thought that was pretty damn rude that somebody just approached like that on somebody during their own tryout, like that's just so rude. And they're like, "Buddy, this guy was playing first, go out there and wait your turn in the hallway." And they said when he turned and looked at him, his pretty much his remark to them was, "Sorry, Curly," in almost that tone of voice. But Ace went out in the hallway and waited his turn, and when he got in there, he hooked up. He blew them guys' mind. I mean, they were actually able to come up with things on the spot and improv, and a lot of the stuff that they improved ended up kind of on the first album. And I mean, from that moment on, Kiss was pretty much born. But I'm going to take time and stop from that. We'll get back. Pick up from where we left off on the next video about the Kisstory, but I want to take time to talk about two of the members that are no longer with us. One of them is Mark St. John. He actually was only with Kiss for a brief little period. He had recorded an album with them, and he had a thing called writer's syndrome, where he would get like joint swelling, joint pain. His fingers and things like that would swell up. And when that happened, he couldn't tour with them. So after the album was recorded, there was no touring that was done with him. They had to find somebody to take his spot. And I have to do a little digging, but I swear, if I'm correct, I think Mark St. John was replaced by Vinnie Vincent. So, but don't quote me on that. I think that's who it is. I'll have to do some digging, and I'll let you know in the next video. But Mark St. John passed away in the 2000s here, more recently. But the first member that passed away from Kiss was their replacement drummer. And their very first replacement drummer at that is Eric Carvello, or as a lot of people know him as Eric Carr. He played as the Fox. That was what his persona was when Peter Criss left the band and he replaced him. He played as the Fox. He had different style makeup. Nothing like what Kiss does today, where they're using the same Ace Frehley, Peter Criss makeup, trying to get away with that on Tommy Thayer and Eric Singer. I find that bullshit. They need to come up with their own persona. But back to what I was saying. I'm getting off track here. Eric Carr, he was probably hands down, I think, my opinion, probably Kiss's best drummer. I still like Peter Criss. He is the original. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know I'm going to have some people probably leaving me some hate comments on this when they find this video, but I think Eric Carr was probably hands down their best drummer. He had a little more flair to him than what Peter Criss did. He brought something different to the table where Kiss could get a little heavier than what they had ever been before, because they were more with Peter Criss, they were more glam rock, I would say. But when Eric Carr joined in, they became a little more hard rock with a little glam rock still, in the mix. You check out some of their albums. Check out like Revenge. I mean, it was a good album. That was the last album that Eric Carr was on. But check that out. I think that was one of their best albums with him on it. But Eric Carr passed away November 24th, 1991. I would have been 2 years old. It was 2 days after I turned two. Now the thing is a lot of people, a lot of you that's a little older than me may not know that he passed away on that day, because that was also a day that somebody else who's a little more famous than him passed away. Well, I shouldn't say a little more famous. He's a lot of more famous. Honestly, that would be Freddie Mercury from Queen. He passed away exactly on the same date as Eric Carr. So the little mention that Eric Carr got was on, I think it was MTV mentioned it and VH1 mentioned it. But the comment that was made was the Along Cult drummer from Kiss, Eric Carr, has passed away today. That was the only thing that was mentioned. Beyond that, a lot of the other headlines was about Freddie Mercury and his death. So, we didn't really get a lot of the Eric Carr news that we could have and should have probably gotten. I mean, look at now, we covered Prince for damn near a week when he passed away. I mean, we could have mentioned Eric Carr just a little bit more than what we did. I mean, pay that man a little more respect, and he deserved that respect. He put in a lot of work for Kiss, a lot of years. He took a lot of shit from a lot of people for the fact of him not being the original drummer, him being the replacement. A lot of the hardcore Kiss fans, they are strictly old school Kiss. They are into the original lineup of the Ace, Peter, Gene, and Paul. And, I understand that was, in my opinion, that was a damn good lineup. They put out their best hits at that point. I mean, a lot of the stuff that, well, actually everything so far that Tommy Thayer's been a part of, no offense, it's not Tommy Thayer's fault, but no offense, Kiss has just lost their luster. Monster and Sonic Boom to me was just not there. They've kind of lost their luster since the 70s when they started in 1973. I think they're about time that they need to start either thinking about retiring or just going and doing classic shows. If they do anything else that's new, I honestly think that bringing back the original lineup or bringing back the lineup from all the years, that the members that are still alive, bringing back all the members from any of the Kiss lineups to perform on an album, or to go and do like acoustic shows like they did for the acoustic set, the unplugged set. I mean, that would be awesome to see something produced like that by Kiss. But we'll get into more about the Kisstory over these next few videos in this mini series that I'll be talking about their history of the band. It'll probably be over the next like 5 or 6 videos. We'll be talking about this, but all right, throw me a like, subscribe, follow me on Facebook at Chris Wilson, or it's under Chris Wilson, Chris6. But yeah, throw up a like and a subscribe. Share this video. I'm out. Later.